Welcome back, everyone. It's your boy FPL Bisco. We've just finished game week 22. Things are not getting any easier, but I've got a little bit of a chip strategy or some news that might help. So let's just get locked in. Review last week, plans for next week. Let's give it a go. The team had just an absolute stinker. There was nothing really that I can complain about. Chelsea was the only thing that my eyes are on. So obviously Sunderland haven't kept a clean sheet. It's been a few weeks they haven't kept a clean sheet, but no worries. Aston Villa haven't kept a clean sheet, and I just don't rely on them to do so. So I want a whole rejinking, whatever of my defence. I've still got Keane out on his suspension, his stupid suspension, and Arsenal defence did what they normally do, which is keep clean sheets. There were no goals in it, so okay, fine, no problem. But all the top teams failed to win anyway, so there was nothing there was no forward that I missed out on. That's what's even more shocking, is what forward did I actually miss out on? Most of the points came from Chelsea. Chelsea having a clean sheet, Sanchez getting 11 points. That's all that he got, like 6 saves, bonus points. Enzo got himself an assist. Cole Palmer gets himself a pen and defensive contributions, which I don't think is something to shy away from. I don't know where I'm going with this, because this can't keep going on any longer. And I heard from someone that what's the point of holding the chips if we all know the chip strategy, or what will be the popular chip strategy, which is triple captain during the double game week, bench boost during like the last 2 games of the season. If you can wildcard, like your wildcard and then your bench boost in one kind of double game week, blank game week, side to back to back, and then triple captain or free hit during another blank game week. Okay, cool. Everyone's going to do the same thing and we're going to end up with the same players. I'm chasing rank. I have to be creative. I have to be able to prepare for those double and blank game weeks and still have a good team, because this team is not going to cut it. For Bruno and Watermada to get nothing versus Wolves, I think it was, what are we doing here? All the bottom teams there's no easy fixtures after Christmas, and now they're going to have Champions League coming back, so rotation is going to be there. I need to figure out a plan as to how I'm going to get forward or move up in rank, because 900,000 or flipping 1 million is not going to do it for me. So looking at my double, or just a basic look at what the chip strategy is going to look like. We expect a double game week if Arsenal continue to go through. So it'll be a double game week. Arsenal should have, I think, Wolves and Nottingham Forest that week. So, and Wolves will have Arsenal and I can't remember somebody else. Wolves not being too popular a team. What Wolves asset would I get for a double game week? I don't need one. What I do need is some Arsenal assets at least, which means I'm going to keep them. But there'll be a blank game week for the Carabao Cup final. So I think Man City might be one as well that should have a double game week as well. So we're going to need the both of them there. And then this is game week 33. So all the rest of the other double game weeks will be there will be. So the Carabao Cup finalists will get a double game week. There'll be a blank game week for the Carabao Cup final, and then there'll be a double game week for Arsenal, most likely, because they've qualified for the Champions League, and I think they don't have an extra European fixture. Manchester City do, so they might have a double game week somewhere else in a different point in the season. But it looks like game week 26 would be good for Arsenal to have a double game week, because they're free that week if they get to the Carabao Cup final. If they don't, then of course Chelsea will get it instead. But, well, I don't know, whatever you foresee happening. So with that, Arsenal assets will be key during double game week 26. And then there'll be a blank game week for the Carabao Cup final. So 2 teams, whoever qualifies for the Carabao Cup final, will not play that week. There should be another double game week during our double game week 33. So with all the fixtures being really difficult around about this time, this might be somewhere that if there is a double game week at this point, whoever is on that double will get the majority of our hits. So that's where I'd want to use my free hit. And it's quite late on in the season as well. So if the rest of all the double game weeks are coming so late in the season, if I save my chips for then, I'll be well out of the running. That's not going to do anything. And everyone's going to have their chips at that same time. So there's nothing to benefit. I'm going to have to use them now. Maybe take 1 or 2 hits later on in the season, and then hope to God that I can prepare for these big double game weeks, blank game weeks, and so on. So it's not looking good for me, like, at all. Now, I'm even cooking up a blacklist. So the strikers this season have really let me down. I've just missed the boat whenever they've been firing. The only person, if we're looking at anyone as being a big big hit this season would be Thiago. Thiago's got 16 and 21, maybe 16 and 22, I think it is. 21 games, 22 games, 21 starts. 16 goals is nothing to sneeze at. Ollie Watkins had such a bad start to the season. I'm not forgetting it. 7 goals and 2 assists is not great. It's not the worst. It's not great. It's less than Ekitike, but you just had to have him when he was hot. His rate is good. Even in the last game, he had taken, I think, 6 shots. That's a good number of shots for a striker to take. That's what we want. And Watermada's really, really fallen off over the last couple of game weeks. So where I can't trust any of them. And now Haaland not being in form, I only want one striker. I genuinely only want one striker. And I'm even looking at wildcard in this week. So I have to figure out, are any of these strikers worth any stress whatsoever? Are they worth keeping 8 to 9 million, or if we look at what's next, if we look at just there's other options out there. They're a lot less owned outside of Calvert-Lewin. They're a lot cheaper. They're a lot more value for money, and I can spend more money on the defense, which is where all the points are coming from for the most part. The defense is outscoring attackers by far this season. So yeah, why not? The added defensive contributions really tilted the scales. I feel like if you're gonna add defensive contributions, maybe add an extra point for a goal for a striker. I don't know, but because they're worth less. If a midfielder scoring is worth more, a defender scoring is worth more. If a striker scoring is worth the least, they're obviously going to get the least points, because every time a defender scores, plus gets a clean sheet, their ceiling is so high, and strikers have to score hat-tricks to get to that ceiling. You assume they're going to score all the time, and they just haven't. So I might as well get Brobbey, who's been in form. I think he's got 2 in the last 3 or 4 games, 0.6% owned. Mane, who's just getting into the starting 11, and I don't really see him coming out of it while Wolves have been on a decent run of form. He's outperforming his XG for whatever that's worth. And I don't know, I'm just tempted by both him and Krupi, because I don't want any other striker. I just feel like I have to live with Haaland just because, and everyone else I just need to enable. So anyway, these are the guys that we're like, okay, if we're going to save money on the front line, we need to figure out some money here. We need to figure out how we're going to get in 1 or 2 of these players. Saka is a no-go. Like, he's the third most. These are the 4 most expensive players. Saka's definitely a no-go. The fixtures are good, but because they've got Champions League games, because they've got cup games, cup finals, he's been rested and rotated, and his form is just not that great. He hasn't been shooting well. Saka's not an option. Cole Palmer's fixtures up until game week 28 are delicious. So yeah, we're going to have a look at Cole Palmer. And if I was doing a wild card, the right answer is actually to get him in. If not for anything, the fact that he's on penalties, I feel like that is a shoo-in. Then we've got Fernandes and we've got Salah. Now, Fernandes' fixtures after this week are decent enough. I feel like Spurs at home is a decent fixture. Crystal Palace away, not Crystal Palace, West Ham away, Crystal Palace at home. We could do something. We can work with that. Now, Mohamed Salah is fixture proof. I'm telling you, he's fixture proof. And the reason I'm so adamant on Salah is that you can't buy him. You have to wildcard him in or wildcard him out. You can't buy him and sell him one like for like. So even if you have him and you sell him, you're going to need a few transfers to spread that money around the team. But if you have Salah, or if you don't have Salah and he turns into any kind of form, that's it. You can't, any form he gets, you can't buy him in unless you wildcard. And if I want a wildcard now, I'm going to have to get him now. I'm not afraid of Bournemouth away, not at all. I'm not afraid of Newcastle at home. They always concede to someone, result or not. And I'm not even afraid of Man City at home. Their defense is leaky as ever. So why not? I also big shout outs to Mbermo as well, who's come back, scored straight away. I was confident he would be. But those are the big red fixtures for Salah. And then you've got Sunderland away, that's a tough fixture. Forest away, which is doable, and then West Ham. I feel like if he can get into any kind of form out after in the next 3 games, then his price goes up to maybe 14.1 or 14.2, and then people are going to wildcard him in, just thinking you can set and forget. I'm not 100% sure Haaland is fully necessary, and Salah is untapped. Like, he's just had a refreshing tournament. He should be locked back in, and if Slot decides to that's the only question mark about Salah. I have no questions that he's going to start scoring goals. I want this. I believe it in my bones that he's the one to get. I just have to stand by my convictions and just get him in the team, and then we can figure it out from there. Because if I don't want him, I can always sell him. I can have a Salah and Haaland draft again, But I feel like now in this second half of the season is the time to pick a side. So this is what my wild card looks like as of now. If I sell Haaland, I can do so much more. But I am standing by that I want Salah in this team. And I don't know. Listen, somebody has to really talk me out of this. But I've gone for two big goalkeepers. I've got Chalobah in there, Van der Ven, who I'm not 100% sure about. But Van der Ven is in there. And my team, this is all dependent on team value as well. So if you're under 100 mil, you can't do it. And I'm pushing the line there. Wharton makes up some of the money. Alderete Van der Ven is good. Not that I trust Spurs, and believe me, like Spurs are borderline on my blacklist. But Van der Ven is as good of a defender as you can get for that price as well. So there's that. Rice stays, Enzo stays, and Mbeumo comes in instead of Fernandes. But I know Fernandes is the one. But it looks like Mbeumo is going to be the striker, which is really, really good for his minutes, or which is really good for his opportunities. His minutes might suffer a bit because there's a lot of strikers there. There's a lot of competition. But between him and Ahmad, I feel like Ahmad should get more minutes and start. But Mbeumo, I don't see United not playing Mbeumo, not starting him, so long as he's fit. And then I've got my cheap front line. Haaland being there, Mane being there, Krupi Jr. being there. The two of them, whether they play or don't play, doesn't bother me at all. It's just I have to have Haaland and two cheap forwards because I'm not investing any more money in these strikers. But emotionally, I have to be like, is this the right week to wildcard? That is the main question. It's not if this is a good team. Is this a good week to wildcard? Man United have Man City. I think it's Arsenal have Manchester United. That leaves me exposed and where I have to trust the rest of the team to make up the numbers, at least for this week. And if I've got double Arsenal or triple Arsenal, I'm not sure that is beneficial for me. But I have to try something. Now's the time. And just finally, this is the actual blacklist. So these are players that I am not touching no matter what. Vicario's an easy one. Nobody really cares if they have Vicario or not. We all don't believe in it. But João Pedro, I'm not getting him back. There's too many easy games. He's scored enough goals. He's gotten enough assists. And these assists are not even he's gotten credit for more assists than he's actually gotten in real life. So some of these assists, they're given in the game. And he's only shown to have 3 assists. But he's gotten like 7 assist points or something like that. He's good for bonus points when he does score. I just can't trust him. No matter what, I can no longer trust João Pedro. He did a lot for me in the beginning of the season. I think I even captained him at one point. But there's too many easy games where he just doesn't care about shooting. And I can't have a forward like that in my team. Ollie Watkins, I still have not forgiven the first 5 weeks of the season. That was my starting striker this season. And I waited and waited and waited. I will not forget. Some people will forget. And they feel, you know what, Ollie Watkins is in some form again. I will not be the guy that has Ollie Watkins back in my team with another drought, with another goal drought on his hands. Strikers, big money strikers on goal droughts. I am not doing it this season. Haaland is doing it to me now, and I'm this close to getting rid of Haaland. I'm so close. The wildcard button is there and ready to be pushed. I don't want to add Haaland to my blacklist because once he's out, you can't get him back. So anyway, that's it for this season. For real, that's it for the season. Now, that's it for the week. We're going to look forward, hopefully, if anyone's got some tips on what I should do for this wild card, if I should wait one more week and believe in Ekitike and maybe hope that maybe Bruno and Walter Mada can get something versus Aston Villa this week, I don't know. But if I can keep my fingers crossed and hope something good happens, then I should be patient. Or I think even one other option would be to go from Walter Mada to Thiago, which I can also do in one transfer and just leave it there. But cooler heads will prevail. I've got 1 or 2 days to kind of think this through. So just wish us luck. And I wish you guys all the best of luck as well.